Rista, goddess of healing, is given an S-class difficulty level world. To become one of the great goddesses, she is required to save this world from the Demon King, but because the difficulty level is so high she is in total despair. She searches for the best young man who can help her in this quest. However, with their level being low, she got fed up and throws the papers. One of the papers falls onto her face. When she looked, Rista is shocked. The stats of this candidate is way higher for a level 1 hero. The candidate's name is Saya. She immediately performs the summoning ritual and summons the hero. The hero finally arrives. Seeing how handsome he is, Rista started dreaming of them being together, but then tell herself that love between a human and a goddess is forbidden. Rista explains to Saya why he is being summoned. Seo was suspicious. He asks Rista that if she is a goddess, then why doesn't she save the world herself? Rista told him that the world is created by gods for humans, and that is why it is the duty of another human to save the world. She opens a portal and tells him to come with her. Along the way she will tell him everything. Sarah refused. He tells Rista that he will not go anywhere suspicious just because a goddess is saying. Rista assures Say that his stats are higher than average heroes, and with her being a goddess of healing he will not die. Tells her that he doesn't trust a supporting character. He doubts whether Rista would even be able to heal his small wounds. Rista started to get frustrated and tells herself, how can a human treat a goddess like this? Saya takes off his t-shirt and tells Rista there is a condition. Rista interprets the condition for the forbidden love. However, Saya started doing push-ups. He tells Rista he needs some time before he goes to that dangerous place. Rista suddenly remembers that she has overlooked one of his crucial traits. It was his impossibly cautious personality. Rista brings some rice balls for him to eat, but Saya was too cautious to eat. He suspects that it might be poison, so he tells Rista to first eat herself and check. Rista started crying and tells him that she doesn't have any reason to poison him, but eat anyways. To prove him, she provides him with basic amenities and gives him a buzzer. Rista tells him to press this when he is ready, thinking he would press the buzzer in 2 to 3 days. Risk to wait patiently, but even after 4 days, he hasn't pressed it. She started doubting whether he died or not, but when she went to check on him, the rice balls were already eaten, meaning he is still inside. After 7 days, she was about to lose control, but the buzzer finally rings. She ran quickly to check for him. As soon as she enters, seeing Saya's abs made her nose bleed. Rista was shocked to see Saya's stats. She never imagined just by doing push-ups he would get to the 15 level. She quickly opens a portal to Gabranda. This time Saya was ready, as he says his catchphrase, ready perfectly. When they reached there, both of them went to the nearest town, Adona, to buy some equipment. She hands him some gold coins in the shop. He selects steel armor and asks for 3 sets. Rista immediately stops him, telling him that he doesn't need this many. It explains to her that the first is to wear, the second is spare, and the third is a spare in case the first spare loses. Rista took the coins back and selected the armor herself. After they bought 50 herbs, Saya went to an open field to practice his fighting skills there. They found a slime. Rista tells Saya that slimes are the weakest. Saya, ignoring what she said, uses atomic split slash. With just one strike he vaporizes the slime. Rista tells him that he didn't need to use a powerful attack on a slime. Saya thought the slime might still be alive, so he uses his other skill, Hell's Fire. He keeps on using them multiple times. Finally, when he stopped, Rista suggests going to the next town. But just then one of the 4 heavenly kings of demon lords, forces Chaos Machina, arrives. Rista was shocked. She didn't expect to have an encounter with a high-level demon this early. When she scanned her stats, Chaos was of 66 level, way powerful than Saya. Rista tells Saya to retreat, but realizes that he had already left. Angrily she runs after him, saying, how can you leave a beautiful goddess like me behind? While they were running, Sia told Rista to create a portal to Divine Realm. Rista quickly creates it, but was about to be caught by Chaos, so Say uses Hell's Fire to surround Chaos. In a ring of fire, they finally escape. Saya told her to get out and give him some time to level up. 2 days have passed since then. When Rista checks the crystal ball to see the situation of Adona, she saw Chaos killing the people and announcing if the hero and the goddess take more time to come, she will kill more people. Worried, Rista went to Saya to make him aware of the situation. Even after being aware of the situation, Saya tells Rista he needs more time, even though the time and divine realm flows 100 times slower than the gay Branda. They still need to hurry, because every 10 minutes chaos is killing a human. Saya didn't care. He told Rista to leave him alone. Rista was emotional. She told Saya that she regretted the decision of summoning him as she was about to leave the room while wearing his armor. Saya tells Rista, it is not that I don't care about those people, it is just that if I die, then every single human there will die. Rista checks Saya's stats and was amazed at how much he has leveled up in such a short amount of time. Saya says his catchphrase ready perfectly, and both of them teleport to Gabranda. Chaos was about to kill a human, but in the nick of time Saya arrives and uses his new skill Windblade. As a result, he saved the man. Chaos, when scanning Saya's stats, couldn't believe how much Saya has leveled up in just a few minutes, but she has a power-up to relieve. Chaos releases her true form. With this, her stats now are 3 times more than Saya's. Rista couldn't believe how strong Chaos is. As of Jao's current stats, she is stronger than the Demon King of a difficulty D-class world. Chaos told Saya now, with just one hit she could split his body. As she was about to hit Saya, Rista has already accepted Saya's death, but as the dust clears up, she was still standing. Rista was shocked. How can a level 21 hero withstand a demon with these low stats? She checked Saya's stats again and found he is using a fake out to hide his real stats. She forces her godly powers to see through the lock. When Rista sees Saya's real stats, she had her jaw drop. Saya's stats are 10 times more than earlier. She wondered, how did he manage to level up this much in such short amount of time, but then realizes that Saya from the start was hiding his real stats. This means that when they first encounter Chaos, he was already way stronger than her, and just as expected, Saya uses Phoenix Drive and turns Chaos to ashes. With ease, the people were very happy and thanked Sif for his heroic achievements. Saya, ignoring their prey, starts collecting Chaos as ashes and uses the hidden skill Maximum Inferno on them. As a result, the whole town burned to a crisp. The village mayor begged Saya to leave the town. When they were about to leave, the man whom Saya earlier saved showed his gratitude by giving him his money. The money was not enough, so Sada told him to hand him whatever he has. With this, they returned to the Divine Realm for him to level up more in the Divine Realm. While Saya is working out, Rista is with Arya, who is one of the great goddesses. Rista tells her about Saya's fight against Chaos Machina. Rista is very inspired by Arya and asks how she managed to save all 300 worlds. With a sad look, Arya told her that out of those 300 she was unable to save one, and that too was only difficulty level B world. Just then Saya enters the room. Arya drops the cup she was holding and went to Saya to introduce herself. Rista got jealous, because it looks to her that Arya is captivated by Saya's handsome face. Arya asks why did he come here. Saya tells her no matter how much he exercises he can't level up. Rista was happy after hearing this and suggests he should go to Gabranda and fight some monsters. Saya told her that it is too risky and he needs some other options. Arya suggests he should train with the god of divine blade Cerseus, who is skilled in sword fighting. Saya liked the idea. They went to Cerseus to allow Saya to train with him. Cerseus accepted it, but beforehand warned Saya that it is not easy for a human to withstand against a god. Saya responded, don't blame me if I leave you in tears, and don't you dare leave the training in the middle. Cerseus was offended to hear this from a human and said, I will show you my levels in the training, and then they left. After the first day of training, Rista went to Cerseus to ask for an update. Cerseus told her she need not worry, Saya have the potential, but still is far behind him in strength. After the second day, Cerseus tells Rista that Saya has gained a nice amount of power, but if Cerseus uses his actual power against Saya, then Saya is no match. After the third day, when Rista went to Cerseus, she found that he is sitting in the corner. When asked about the training with a tired look, he told her that the training is going okay. Rista asks Cerseus, could you tell me more about it? Cerseus got angry and told her to leave him alone and let him eat his lunch in peace. On the fourth day of training, too, make rice balls. Rista went to take some nori but unexpectedly found Circeus hiding there. Circeus told Rista to not tell anyone about his location. Rista was a bit confused and asked for more details. Circeus told her that her hero is sick. Saya is already 3 times stronger than him but won't let him rest until he becomes 100 times stronger. For days he hasn't slept well because Saya doesn't want to waste any time. Just then Saya arrives and tells Circeus to come back to training. Circeus was so traumatized that he threw his divine blade into the ocean and swore to not pick up another sword, but anyway Saya drags him to the training. Rista is called up by Ishtar, a very high-ranked goddess. Ishtar tells Rista to go to the next town immediately. Using her precognition ability, she tells Rista that there they will find 2 allies who will help them in their journey. When they reach the town of Simul, everyone was leaving from there. Rista asks them the reason. One of them tells that the main castle has been destroyed by the huge horde of undead and now they are coming to this town. Asks Rista what are the weakness of the undead. Rista suggests fire and holy water are effective against them. Sayed goes to the nearest shop and orders 1,000 bottles of holy water. Rista stopped him and bought 10 bottles. They reach the church where they are introduced to Mash and Alulu, who are descendants of Dragonkin. The priest tells Saya that from now on these 2 will accompany them before the priest says anything else. Saya uses the holy water on him. Rista was shocked and angry, but soon the priest started to turn into an undead. The priest threatens Saya that he will soon face the consequences for opposing death. Magia, one of the demon lord forces for heavenly kings, before he says further, Saya quickly cuts the priest into pieces. Everyone was shocked to see that they didn't even see Saya lifting his sword. Rista wonders just how powerful he has become. Saya uses Maximum Inferno to get rid of the body, but obviously in the process got rid of the whole church. Mash and Alulu, impressed by Saya's strength, introduced himself personally. He uses the holy water on all of them to just make sure they are not undead. Even at Rista, after scanning both of their stats, Saya with a disgusted face says I don't need them. Saya told them they will only slow him down with their low stats. Soon the knights arrive. After hearing the explosion, they asked what happened here. The nun told them that the priest was an imposter, so the hero takes care of him. She told the knights that there are 10,000 undead approaching this town. The knights were shocked even for an army of 300. These are too much. Saya approached the knight and asks for a reward if they want him to help them. The knight told Saya he will be provided with 1,000 gold coins. Saya said very well, now write this in this piece of paper. He then proceeds to go alone against the horde. The knights couldn't believe Seer was going alone and told him to wait, as soon more knights will come to join him. Saya told him he don't need people who will slow him down and told the knights, along with Mash and Lulu, to protect the town. With his flight skill he flies toward the horde, leaving Rista behind. Rista was speechless and uses her godly powers to bring out her wings. With this she chases Saya, but Saya was too fast for her. Seeing Rista is left behind, he went back to take her. Rista started blushing, thinking Saya has fallen for her, and tries to kiss him. However, Sia speeds up, leaving Rista in shambles. When they reach the place where the undead are, Saya uses his new overpowered skill Meteor Strike. With just one hit he vaporizes all 10,000 undead. Rista was impressed to see how powerful the spell is. She wonders if the Heavenly King Death Magia is there. The spell is enough to kill him. Saya uses Meteor Strike again just to make sure they are gone for good. After his second spell, Saya holds his head and said he uses too much of his MP. Rista was worried for Saya. After all, he uses 2 powerful spells continuously. She asks Saya how much MP is left. While holding his head, Saya replied out of 15,000 only 13,500 MP is left. After hearing this, Rista was speechless. They went back to the town worried. Alulu went to Rista to ask whether she has seen Mash, because since the church incident she hasn't seen him. Rista with Alula went to Saya's room for help there. Saya shows Rista a platinum sword he has created with his new skill Synthesize. Surprised, Rista asks how did he manage to do it. Saya replies by combining 2 ordinary swords and a goddess hair which he found in Rista's room. Soon after, a parcel for Saya arrives. The lady told Saya that a man in a mask gave her this, suspecting it might be a bomb. Saya tells Rista to open it. Inside the parcel was a mirror. But not an ordinary one. Inside the mirror, Mash was tied up and tortured. Death Magia appears. He tells Saya that he will torture this boy to death, because Saya killed is undead. Since Death Magia is in an unknown place, it would take a lot of time to find it. Saya tells Rista to open a portal to Divine Realm and uses Dimension Blade to cut his hand, because time flows 100 times slower in the Divine Realm. Saya uses this opportunity to make a plan. He then went to the Divine Realm and asked Ishtar to teleport them to the place where Mash is being kept. After reaching the castle, Saya easily defeats Death Magia and saves Mash. Alulu was very happy after Mash woke up from his injury. Enters the room. He tells Mash and Alulu that they can join him, but in return they will carry his belongings. Both of them were very happy. Mash was frustrated over his incompetence against Death Magia and promised to work hard to raise his level. Mash tells Saya that he wants to take him to Dragon's Den. Alulu explains that according to legends, a hero alongside 2 dragonkins will come to this place. Here they will receive the mightiest weapon to defeat the demon lord. Saya tells them they will first go to the Divine Realm. There Saya went to find Cerseus. Cerseus was in the cafeteria learning to cook. When he saw Saya coming, he immediately hides. Saya tells Cerseus that the person he is supposed to train is Mash, not him. Seeing Mash is weaker than him, Cerseus got excited and took him to the training. After Mash, Rista handed a Lulu to the goddess of fire Hestica and requested her to teach her flame magic. After Alulu, it was Saya who wanted to find someone to train with. On the way, Rista accidentally bumped into the goddess of destruction Valkyrie. Valkyrie got angry and told her to watch her steps. Valkyrie, remembering Rista got an S-class world, trolled her by saying, "Isn't it too much for a third-rate like yourself?" After this she let her go. Saya asks Rista about Valkyrie because he sends tremendous power from her. Rista tells him after all she is the strongest goddess of the Divine Realm. She warns Saya to not talk to her as she gets offended if a human said anything to her. However, Saya already went to ask her to train him. He called her exhibitionist for her outfit. This makes Valkyrie angry and she threatens Saya that she'll kill him. Saya in response challenges her by saying, "Go ahead, I dare you." Just then Arya comes with her persuasion. Valkyrie stopped and left in a casual tone. Arya said, "I've told you many times, Say, and not to be this reckless." Saya asks Arya, "Are you casual with everyone or just me?" Arya apologizes, and knowing that Saya needs someone to train with, she took him to the goddess of war Aidenella. Arya tells Saya that she is way stronger than Cerseus and would be of great help. With a creepy tone, Aidenella said that she would be glad to help a human for 2 days. They all were practicing. On the 3rd day it is time for their departure to Gabe Brand. Arista first went to pick Mash. She was amazed to see Mash's new stats. She then went to Alulu. There when she scanned her Alula stats wasn't any different from before. Hestica tells Rista that this girl has no talent for flame magic and it is better for her if she gives up on flame magic. At last, when Rista went to bring Saya, he told her that Aidenella has told him to wait. Soon Aidenella, with a totally different look, came running to Saya. She hugs him. She gives him a cake that she has made and asks Saya to take her on his adventure because she wants to be with him forever. Rista was in shock. She was wondering what these two were doing in the training. Saya bluntly rejects the cake and told her that no way he will spend his life with her forever. As they were about to leave Aidenella, and a rage started destroying everything. Saya, ignoring her, says his catchphrase "ready perfectly" and then went inside the portal. When they get inside the cave, a voice tells them to step into the magic circle, after which they will be teleported to the dragon village, and here they will get the mightiest weapon Zacian. After teleportation there they meet Lagos. He guides them to their leader, Great Mother of Dragons. Levi welcomes them. She first transforms Mash into a dragonet to reveal his true powers and tells him that with enough training he can become a dragon god. Alulu asks the dragon mother on how she can transform to. Levi tells her unfortunately she cannot transform because she has a more important role to serve. Alulu gets excited and asks her. Levi tells that Alulu will be sacrificed and will turn into Zacian, the mightiest weapon. Everyone was shocked. Worried Rista asks whether there is any other alternative. Levi tells them it is the only way. The hero can defeat the Demon King. She tells them how 70% of this world is under Demon King's control, and if they didn't take any action sooner, the Dragon Village along with other towns and nations will be destroyed. Satellilu accepts her fate and agrees to be sacrificed. Mash protests and asks whether instead of Alulu he can be sacrificed. Levi tells them the ritual requires a female dragonkin blood and flesh, so Mash cannot replace Alulu at the village before the ceremony. Rista asks Saya to do something about it. Saya, with a cold face, replies, "It is very obvious what needs to be done. There is nothing for me to do." Alulu, hearing this response, got emotional and told him that he is absolutely right. Just before the ritual, the dragons organize a feast for everyone. Two dragon kids offer Saya, Rista, and Mash some cookies. Saya was about to reject them, but Rista tells him that just eat them. Only this time, just after they eat the cookie, Levi announces the commencement of the ritual with two bodyguards behind her. Walks on the path which was created by the first dragon. Emperor Levi explains, after Alulu reaches the end point she will jump from there and soon will transform into Exasia. As she was about to reach the end, Saya from behind kicks the guards and said if he let Alulu transform into a sword then she can't carry her bags. Rista tells Saya that if Alulu is not sacrificed they will not get Exasia, and as a result they can't defeat the Demon King. Saya tells her that he doesn't trust that the weapon would even kill the Demon Lord. Rista and Mash suddenly got paralyzed. Levi tells them she already knew this could happen, so she poisoned them. However, seeing Sia being unharmed, Levi was in shock. In a surprised tone she said, "But I saw you eat the cookies." Sada tells that just after he ate he vomited them because he suspected it might be poisoned. Angry, Levi turns into Dragon God with insane stats, especially very high defense, but Saya was already prepared as he take out Dragon Killer. The Dragon Killer was made by combining a platinum sword with Mash's and Rista's hair. Seeing the Dragon Killer sword, Levi got scared and activated the curse on the necklace that Alulu was wearing. After 3 minutes the time will be over and Alulu will die. Worried, Rista asks, "But don't you need her for the sacrifice?" Levi told her that she only needs Alulu's blood and flesh irrespective of whether she is dead or alive. As Saya is about to kill her, Levi unlocks the wall. With this her defense is almost impenetrable. Saya takes out another dragon killer. He combines them with the eternal sword skill that he learned from Adanella, but even with them Levi HP was barely reducing. But Saya's plan was to push till the end of the cliff. As Levi realizes Saya's plan, she undo the wall, but as soon as she did it, she uses a double wing blade to destroy Levi's wings and push her through the cliff, and soon after Levi turns into Exasia because the conditions of a female dragonkin flesh and blood met which Levi already possesses. Saya tells the villagers that it is a win for both of us as he saved Alulu and they completed the ritual. The villagers were in a bit of shock as their leader passed away, but agrees that it was for the best. Mash hugs Alulu as he reunites with her just before they leave. Rista tells Saya that she knows the sword is not Exasia because she can tell from its sacred energy. Tells her that it was the best possible way to escape from there. As they were about to leave the cave, the knights from before block the entrance. They are Roseguard Imperial Knights. Their captain Rosalie is fighting against the demons and they are here to request the hero to help them. Say it with Rista. Mash and Alulu went to the place where the captain is fighting. There they got to know the demon in charge is Bill Bob, who is incredible speed. Saya witnesses how patientless the captain is without any strategy. She is just charging them. As a result the soldiers are being slaughtered. They went to the captain. Rosalie, thinking they have just arrived, immediately orders her guards to attack the demons to revenge for her soldiers' deaths. However, Carlo tells her to first retreat and have some rest to think. Rosalie agrees. Everyone gathers for the meeting in the fortress. Rosalie tells everyone that they don't need any strategy because she and the hero would be sufficient. The council is not happy with her decision, stood up and tell them that he is leaving. The whole council is shocked. Saya tells them that he is going to the divine realm for his training. Rosalie is angry and wants to attack as soon as possible. Saya tells her after carefully observing their movements he is not ready yet. Rosalie was devastated to know the hero was already there when her soldiers were being slaughtered. She blames their death on him because what kind of hero, after witnessing humans' death, doesn't help them? Saya bluntly tells Rosalie that because of her lack of strategy, the soldiers died. It's actually her who killed them. Rosalie gets angry and tries to slap Saya, however Saya blocks it and slaps her back until she stops. Rosalie is swollen like a tomato. Cryingly she tells Saya that she doesn't need him and going to attack the demon alone. Saya without any delay went back to the divine realm. They went to the goddess of archery Midas to learn archery. There she shows them her ability to shoot 7 continuous arrows. Saya was impressed and tells her to train him before they start. Midas tells him that a human can't shoot even 5 continuous arrows. Saya replies, "We'll see about that." Rista took Mash and Alulu to Arya, where she took the responsibility to train them into her hands. Circeus alert Rista about Aidanella. Since they left she is in a berserk mode. Rista goes to Adnella's place there. Her whole wall is painted with "kill you." When she turns, Aidanella was behind her waiting to kill Saya. Rista tells her Saya didn't come with her this time. Aidanella didn't react much. Rista leaves and quickly goes to Saya and tells him to stay away from Aidanella. Tomorrow she'll bring Mash and Alulu and from here only they will go to Gabranda. Saya was a bit confused because Aidanella was standing behind Rista. Since she has arrived here, Aidanella knew there is no way Rista would come back without saying. That's why she followed her. As she gets into her fighting stance, Saya approaches her and tells her to comb her hair because it looks like a mess. Rista was worried and tells Saya to run, however Aidanella melted and forgive Saya. Rista couldn't believe it was this easy to calm the goddess of war. Ista goes to Arya to check Mash and Alulu's progress. Mash is partially able to release his dragon seal and Alulu has learned support magic with it she can use delay and haste on the subject. Soon after with Saya they teleport to the fortress. Carlo tells them Rosalie has gone alone to fight Beelzebub. Saya without any delay goes there. When they reach there, Rosalie is climbing up the tree. Saya is happy because now he can use Rosalie as bait, however Beelzebub is alerted and takes her with him. Saya sent Rista to make sure she doesn't lose sight of Rosalie. Seeing Rista, Beelzebub understands the hero is also near, so he flies higher to avoid him. However, a shining arrow came toward Beelzebub. When he tries to dodge it he drops Rosalie, but somehow Rista manages to catch her. Beelzebub was surprised to see the hero manages to shoot this far from the ground. Soon another 7 shining arrows are fired at Beelzebub. Rista was amazed to see a human breaking the limits, however Beelzebub manages to dodge them all. Rista is shocked thinking he avoided Saya's best shot. Beelzebub finds Saya and went to kill him, but the arrows that Saya fired earlier transforms into birds and came back like a boomerang to kill Beelzebub. Later Saya with the help of Alulu's haste finishes off the smaller flies and tells Mash to collect the bodies. After they were collected Saya uses Hellfire to vaporize the remains. Before Rosalie leaves she tells Saya about a legendary armor in the shrine near the village of Azali. With its help he can defeat the demon lord, so Sayat with others goes to the village of Isael but was shocked to witness its condition. The whole village was lit up in fire. When they went further inside there they met Kiklapol, one of the 4 heavenly kings. Adamantwad is the demon he summoned from another world to destroy the legendary armor, and now, with no legendary armor and sword, Saya's chance of defeating the demon lord is very slim. Knows that he cannot defeat the hero, so he sacrifices himself to summon a hyper-conceptual Reaper. Crow's Thanatos. Saya is not prepared for what is about to come, so he tells Rista to open the portal. Soon the summoning is completed and Cross Thanatos is summoned. Rista is shocked to see the stats are glitching, which means Thanatos' stats are actually over the edge. Saya uses Double Wind Blade to attack the Reaper, however the Reaper converts into 2. Saya is in panic. He uses Maximum Inferno and asks Rista to quickly open the portal. Rista opens the portal and they went to the divine realm. However the Reaper starts to break through the dimensions and Enter the divine realm. Rista is shocked and couldn't believe it is even possible. Saya is completely out of options and doesn't know how to counter it. Soon 3 gods came to the rescue, however the Reaper easily defeats them. Seeing Saya is already running, Rista and the others start running. 2 more gods came to help, but they are also defeated. Adenella is in front, so Saya asks her for help since she is a goddess of war. Rista believes Adenella can defeat the Reaper. She uses ultimate eternal sword, but the Reaper clones into its multiple. Adenella is also defeated since almost every god has been defeated. Say his last option is Valkyrie. He lures the Reaper to her and made him attack Valkyrie's painting. Valkyrie is pissed and attacks the Reaper, however Cross Thanatos is easily able to regenerate. Valkyrie started laughing and asks Ishtar to release her limit. Her stats are out of this world. Valkyrie uses her ultimate skill Valhalla Gate. With this the Reaper is caught inside the gate and is swallowed. As a side effect, Valkyrie started to lose a lot of blood because in exchange for using it the Valhalla Gate demands the user's life force, but since she is immortal this side effect doesn't affect her. Saya requests Valkyrie to teach him this skill, but due to its side effect Valkyrie warns Saya that a human couldn't possibly learn it. He still insists on her. Valkyrie agrees and tells him to come to his room. After 10 minutes Mash and Alulu went to Arya to improve their stats. Rista is called up by Ishtar. She tells Rista about the last Heavenly King preparing to attack Gabranda, so she and the hero needs to hurry. First Rista brings Mash and Alulu, who have improved significantly, and then she goes to Valkyrie's place to bring Saya. However she is stunned to witness Valkyrie on top of Saya. Rista starts crying. Saya assures her that it is not what she is thinking. This is a part of the final training. Rista shows Saya a doll she is made out of her hair because Sion needs a lot of her hair for synthesis. This would help him. Everyone is disgusted to see it. Without any more delay they go to Gabranda. A huge horde of demons is in front of the castle. The last Heavenly King demands the mightiest warrior to come ahead, so the War Master comes in front thinking he is just a weak old man. The demon starts laughing at the War Master, however the War Master slashes down him into pieces, and using massive saint's light the War Master vaporizes every demon. Seeing how powerful he is, Rista asks, why don't you defeat the demon lord by yourself? Before the War Master says anything he is turned into an infant. Soon Rosalie arrives and explains that her father is being cursed by the demon lord. She takes her father to the kingdom while Saya and others go to the town to shop for some gear and weapons. In the evening Saya is called up by the king, but before he met him Rosalie requests Saya to not accept her father's request in joining him in fighting the demon lord because he is very less time to live and wants his last few days to be peaceful. Saya agrees because even though the king is strong he doesn't want someone in his team who could die any minute. A guard notifies the king that survivors from the demon lord's army are attacking the capital. The king tries to go, but Saya insists that he will go and wipe them out as quickly as possible. Saya takes Mash and Alula with him and tells Rista to stay here. The king and Rista have some private talk. He asks Rista whether she knows why gods and humans will not die in this world. Rista, unknown of the fact, asks him the reason. The king explains that a god has 2 souls. One is called the virtual soul, which he or she carries, and the other one is the real soul, which is kept safe in the divine realm. And same as with the hero, because his real soul lives in his world. Even if he dies he will go back to his world. The king tells about a magical item called chain destruction. If used, both the heroes and the goddesses' virtual and real souls will be destroyed forever. Rista is shocked to know that a magical item like this even exists. The king tells that the demon lord already possesses it and has produced a weapon out of it. He shows the weapon God Eater, which is a god-slaying sword. Rista is shocked and wonders why he possesses such a thing. Suddenly the king attacks Rista by eliminating her. There would be no other way for the hero to go back to the divine realm. Surprised Rista asks the reason he is trying to kill them. The king explains, after standing in front of the demon lord he was stunned to see the difference in their power levels and since then decided to worship the demon lord before he can kill Rista. In a nick of time CIA comes and saves her. He was cautious enough and know this could be a possibility. Rosalie witnesses her father trying to kill a goddess. She was in shock. The king uses demon spirit orb and by using it he attained the power he had when he was in his prime. As they start to fight, Saya uses the ultimate eternal sword attack. However, the king uses a custom to get adapt to the attack and easily throws away one of Saya's swords. With no other options left, Saya starts to remove all the heavy accessories he was saving up to fight against the demon lord to see how heavy they are. Rista and everyone are shocked, but even with his speed doubled, Saya is not able to defeat him, so Rista asks Alulu to use haste on Saya. Alula tells that she is already using it on him from the start. It was then Rista realizes that Saya didn't say his catchphrase. Before coming here, the king cut Saya's right arm thinking he would win. He loses his arm too, asking how is this even possible. Saya explains by using counter break, which he learned from Valkyrie, he can return the exact damage he has received using Phoenix Thrust. He finishes off the king. Rista heals Saya's arm. The king turns back to his older version and starts crying. Saya tells Rista to heal his wound too before the king dies. Saya tells Rosalie to talk to him for the last time, but after what he has done, Rosalie is angry with him, slaps her, and tells her this is your last chance. No matter how evil he is, he still loves you. Rosalie starts crying and hugs him. After 3 days, his demise is announced to the public and Rosalie is throned as the new ruler. Back in town, Saya wakes up after a long sleep. Because this time, the fight was so close and intense, he wants to train more, but before he does, Saya tells everyone to shop while he looks for some herbs, and later at night, they can have some fun. Everyone is happy because they didn't expect a training freak to allow them to enjoy themselves. After shopping for tonight, Rista, Alulu and Mash went back to their inn. They are surprised to see that Saya still hasn't come back, so they went to herb armor and weapon shops to ask about Saya, but they haven't seen anyone like him, so as the last option, Rista went to the divine realm to ask Ishtar about Saya. When she went inside her room, he sees Arya crying by the window. Arya guides them to a secret place where all of the god souls are being kept there. Ishtar tells them about Saya going alone to fight the demon lord. Rista couldn't believe a cautious personality like him can do this. Ishtar explains further that since the beginning, Saya has always tried to protect his teammates, and even when he could have died for real against the War Master, he fought him to protect Rista. Ishtar shows that since they went to the dragon village, Saya has achieved the maximum level, but due to his ultimate fake-out, still Rista wasn't able to see through it, and with no other way to increase his stats, he decided to learn Valhalla Gate so he can fight the demon lord by himself. Rista is in shock, because if a human uses it in the presence of chain destruction, he is bound to die. Ishtar shows them a different World 9 for you, a level B world, which has been destroyed 100 years ago. It was the world that was given to Arya. There Arya with Colt Tiana and Saya tries to save the world. However, Saya was so impatient that he didn't even come up with a plan and just attacks them even if the enemy is way stronger than him. But even after just barely managing to defeat their enemies, they were able to reach the demon lord. At night, the day before they were planning to attack, Tiana requests Saya to first gather information about the demon lord, but Saya, being an impatient hero, tells her that it would be fine. At the time of the fight, Saya is barely able to kill the demon lord. Thinking they have saved the world, they started to celebrate. However, the demon lord is reborn and first eats Colt, then Arya. The demon lord explains that because he had 2 lives, he was able to be reborn again as the demon lord. Caught Tiana, he notices that she is pregnant. He understands that the baby is Sadi's. Saya cries and begs the demon lord to spare them, but he killed them all. Back to the present after seeing the truth, Rista is emotional. Ishtar explains that after Tiana died, she was reincarnated as Rista, and even though Saya has no memories of them being together, his regrets are deeply embedded in his soul, and that is why he tries to be as cautious as possible without wasting any time. Rista, Alulu and Mash prepare to go and help Saya in fighting the demon lord. By the time they reach the castle, Saya and the demon lord are already fighting. Rista can feel the presence of chain destruction. Saya calls Valhalla Gate and swallows up the demon lord. However, the demon lord transforms and tries to escape through the gate. Saya synthesizes a sword made from the gate spike and attacks the demon lord with it. Now, as compensation, Saya's body starts to lose a lot of blood. Rista asks Ishtar to release all her divine powers. Ishtar warns Rista that she has already broken too many rules by directly teleporting to the demon Lord's castle, and by asking to release her limit again, her status as a goddess will be taken. Rista agrees to receive any punishment and receives all her divine powers back. With the help of it, she is able to heal Saya's wounds. However, the Valhalla gate hasn't vanished yet. The demon lord breaks it and uses Judgment Zero. Rista is shocked because the power is so immense that it can destroy this world 2 times in a single strike. But before he releases his attack, Saya uses another Valhalla gate. This time the gate is bigger, it swallows the demon lord along with the first gate. However, this time his body starts to break and Rista is unable to heal him because his body is breaking faster than she can heal him. Saya, just before he dies, shows his gratitude towards Mash and Alulu, and at last, just before he vanishes, he hugs Rista and thanks her for helping him as the world is at peace. Mash and Alulu are working for Rosalie, and after bidding them farewell, Rista goes back to the divine realm. Rista starts to hallucinate. She checks the room where Saya used to train, but he is not there. Arya comes in and tells Rista about her being called up by Ishtar, but before they went, Arya combs Rista's hair on the way. Aiden, Elat and Circeus cheers Rista when she meets Ishtar. For breaking many rules, Rista is given a punishment, and now she has to save an SS class World 9 for you, which is already under the control of the Demon Lord, and if she is not able to say that, she will be removed from her goddess status. Arya is emotional and begs Ishtar to not give such a cruel punishment to Rista. For a beginner goddess, an S-class was already too much, and now an SS class is impossible to save with a normal hero. Ishtar tells Rista that after the second gate was summoned, the chain of destruction was also eaten alongside the demon lord and the first gate. Ishtar hands a paper containing a potential hero. Rista is stunned to see Saya's name on it with his stats reset. Ishtar allows Rista to summons him. However, this time, the personality of Saya is impossibly cautious. Consider liking and subscribing this channel if you enjoyed the recap. Have a wonderful day ahead.